Okay, so every class we have a recording. If let's say you are not free, you can take leave. Basically, more than half people take leave. I will cancel the class. So we still got a few student absence today. I think second class they will be coming. Okay, class, let's take a look. Please, I think everyone is having this book already, right? This one. Maybe let me show you. I think all of you got a PDF file, or maybe you already get a hard copy from Amazon or what. So this is the books that we're going through. Okay, may I know, shall I know everybody got a hard copy? Anyone get a hard copy? Hard copy, no. Everybody are using the soft copy lah. Oh, okay. Mr. Leong, Sally got a hard copy. Okay, good lah. So during the lesson, you try to highlight the point and do some additional to the lesson. So in the very beginning, please. Okay, in the very beginning, please take a look to the condensed in the first place. Okay, we take a look to the condensed. Okay, in the condensed, let's take a look. Here we're going to see is number one, the Buddha and his Indian context, early Buddhist teaching, rebirth and karma. And the third one is the early Buddhist teaching, the four true reality for the spiritual noble. Well, it's chapter 1, 2. This is the 1, 2, 3. And number 4 is the early development in the Buddhism. Okay, Sally, what do you feel in this number 1, 2, 3? Do you feel familiar? Do you feel familiar from number 1, 2, and 3, Sally?
Yes.
Mostly from where?
From the
way to Buddhahood.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's why 1, 2, 3 you feel very familiar. But take a look in the number 4 is the early development in Buddhism. Then we come to the Mahayana philosophies, Mahayana holy beings, and Tantric Buddhism. And this is another extra 3 part, which we can hardly find in the way to the Buddhahood. So this is the new things. Especially for Sally and Mr. Leong, this 3 part. I think Mr. Leong, if you want to broaden your knowledge, you have to go through this. Then we come to the chapter number 7. Please take a look to the chapter number 7. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong. Okay. Which one country you think you are more familiar regards the history for it?
I think more on Tibetan. Because Mahayana.
You mean you are more familiar with Tibetan Buddhism?
Yeah, then Mahayana, because I don't know Mandarin. Because
really?
Tibetan sometimes they're in English.
But your face don't look like Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, joke only lah.
Yeah, but more inclined to Theravada.
Yeah, your face, yeah, you are Theravada face lah, Mr. Leo. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look. Basically, once we go to chapter number 7, we'll try to go through the India, Central Asia, Lanka, these 2. And number 3, regarding the Vietnam, Northern Buddhism, I'm not familiar, so I will skip it. Then the Chinese Buddhism is the part which I'm familiar most. And this is somewhere I would like to introduce you all, because I think I can read the Mandarin text and all the what archaeological study or whatever. So this is the part I mostly want to bring to you all. Even you can understand but maybe a lot of things they translate from the Chinese literally. It's too hard for you to understand. So this is the part I think I can contribute to you all for the Chinese. Whereas the Vietnam, Korea, and the Japan, so sorry for that. I'm not familiar with the history, so I will just skip. So basically, in the history part, we will be major in in China and also the Indian, a little bit southeastern part, okay, that's what I can do. Sri Lanka a little bit, that will be fine, and then we will study a little bit history of Buddhism in Malaysia, okay, so that one also I can just roughly introduce. Then you will know how come today the Buddhism it come up with a new era. We can say the new features, which is quite different with the Theravada and Mahayana and also the Tibetan Buddhism. The reason is, class, remember, I just now mentioned I conduct 12 lessons, okay, 12 courses within 1 week. Basically, especially in Chinese, the highest study, we got level 1 to level 7. The level 7 is the Visuddhimagga and also the Abhidhamma Sangha. They are predominantly from the Myanmar. Myanmar know it very well, compared with Malaysia, you see. But I put it because due to my background problem. And then from level 1 to level number 4, mostly we do specific in either any school, like Pure Land, Tibetan. Not really. We don't specific. We are more on general study in. Chapter number 1, the level 1, 2, and 3. So that's why we can claim that this is a new features of a Buddhism in Malaysia, because we ourselves, due to the different education background, partial from academic study and also partial from meditation. That's why we will use the academic work to to have a good definition, a strict definition to all the Buddhist terminology. But whatever we learn, I hope I can direct you all to go for meditation, because no matter how, you can only understand the truth behind from the Buddhism through meditation only, not through the academic study. So I wouldn't direct you go to the university, but I will more encourage you go to meditation center. Okay, so here Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, and Sally, they are very good yogi. They practice very well. So hopefully they can influence Joey and also David and also Bopo. Bopo, I think you better put the name Claire Popo, just like a kid Hey, next time put your name Claire. Claire looks like a mature woman, all right?
Sifu,
Yes.
my real name is Popo.
Popo. Claire is your English name, right? Claire, right?
Yes, Claire is the English name.
I use Claire, you Popo. What is it? Okay, okay. Well, anyway, let's take a look. Then we go to the number 8, is the Buddhist practice the devotion. Okay, class, can you take a look? Number 8, number 9, number 10, and also number 8, 9, 10. Can you let's take a look? Okay, 8, 9, and 10. See what do we discover from there. Sorry, before you proceed, I think number 1, okay, we should try to learn how to communicate to each other. Basically, I prefer you raise hand by Zoom. Can you raise hand by Zoom in the first place to me? Can you raise hand by Zoom? No, David, no. Raise hand by Zoom. Yes, Popo is correct. Popo, you better concentrate on driving. Focus on driving. Raise, Mr. Leong got it. Joey got it. David got it. And also Sally. Little bit hard, right? Slowly. Sally. Okay. I think you got your hand got problem, Okay, please raise down your hand. Okay, just now you raise up, so put down your hand. Okay, by Zoom. Okay, so you put down your hand already, no problem. Okay, then next you can communicate with me by texting, Do you see the chat? You can try to text me. Okay, please text 1 in your chat, showing that you know that. Yeah. Okay, Joey got it. Mr. Leong got it. Okay, David got it. Okay, everybody got it. Okay, and then lastly, one more thing is you should try to make your background blur. Okay, David, do you know how to make it? Because sometimes there will be somebody. Maybe the man in your house, they prefer naked and walk at your back, or come here and go. Everything will be recorded down and cause you embarrassed. Okay. Anyway, you
So
are.
how do I do it?
Okay, you can do that. You can please go to the stop the video. You can go to the video, all right? So in the video, you see the video setting, okay? Then from the video setting there, you can put my video. I think, let's see, if you should go to the general, let's see, the video. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I stopped the video.
Not stop the video, make it blur. Your background, make the background blur. Maybe Joey, can you teach him?
Yes. Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
From the stop video, there is an arrow at the side. You click the arrow. There's the column blur my background. Next to the video, not stop the video. The icon there, next to the icon, there is this arrow. Arrow with my hand like that. Then at the side there, written there, blur my background.
Yeah. You just click there, blur my background, then the background will blur. But anyway, you are the man here, so no other man will naked at your back, I think. So no problem, I think. Okay, you are the man here. Okay, all right. So you can struggle later on. David,
Okay.
try to look for it, how to make it background. You just go to the YouTube, they will show you all the details. Okay, let's be continuous.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. Yeah, let's take a look. It's chapter 8 and 9. What we will see is the Buddhist practice. Number 1 is the devotion. Second is regards to ethic. You see, in the devotion, we will see focus on application of devotional apps. Okay, so remember always off your mic, David. After speaking, off your mic. All right. We will see the refuge, the attitude to the image, proactive chanting. So meaning to say, we'll go back to the very fundamental and basic thing. You will see all this is in your temple. So I mean, the author try to introduce it scholastically and then how come all these things appear. Then number 9 is regarding the practice, the ethic. Let's see it. The ethics they do is the number 1 is the giving, then keeping the precept, loving kindness, a care for dying and the dead, and the ethic of a social relationship. I think this is the most practical part. Okay, you do the giving, especially you go to the temple, no matter Mayana or Theravada. So number 10 is regards to the Sangha. Okay, yes. Okay, Mr. Leong, can you please try to analyze here the Sangha? Can you link to your experience?
See, for what do you mean by linking it to my experience? I don't
Because you have, you was a monk before, right? The nourship you was joining the nourship program, So do you see anything from here?
on the Vinaya code.
Yeah, and then you gone through the ordination, right?
Yes.
Yes, but do you see any nuns in Theravada?
No nuns, but seminary.
Yeah, that's right. So this part I think is also worth for study. More on the Bhikkhu precept. So it's quite thoroughly, Buddhism have been thoroughly introduced from this book. Then number 11, let's take a look. Class, can you please go through number 11? Okay, and the 12 and 13. Okay, once you finish this three part, can you raise hand by Zoom, please, to me? Okay. or maybe you just try to highlight which you are more interested in. Okay, when you finish, please raise hand by Zoom. Okay. One people finish. Okay, 2 people finish. Three, 4 people finish. Yes, Joey, can you tell us which part you are interested mostly?
Hi, I'm more interested to understand about the early influence of Buddhism through literature, philosophy, and psychology.
Oh, okay. Wait is in the number you are
13.
13 Oh, okay. You're more interested in 13 Okay. This one Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the top one.
Influence. Okay, okay. So I get it. How about David? Which part you are more interested in? On your mic, David.
I'd like to know about the difference between Pure Land visualization, tantric visualization, and then this what Zen meditation.
Yeah, okay. David, you see, the thing you highlight, meaning to say that you heard it before in Mahayana temple, Chinese Mahayana temple. So I think, maybe you just know, but you cannot go in depth, not you cannot understand the detail. So now, if everything in English, quite sure that you can truly understand the meaning behind that. Whereas I think maybe Joey, you have some academic background, so you prefer you're interested more on this type of thing through the literature, philosophy, and psychology. Okay, so it reflects your background or your interest. Okay, so class, let's take a look. So meaning to say, we have a total 13 chapter here. Yeah, this is the total 13 chapter. So now we'll go back to the let's try to begin in the chapter number 1 first. Class, we'll go to the table. No. We go to the let's see. Yeah. Okay. Class, maybe I would like to show you how to make use for this bowl. Number 1, here is the cover. Second is regards the condenser. So I think you are using it to reply me. Then we'll go to the tables. So class, let's take a look. They got a few tables. Okay, I would like to highlight that the table is the table number 2, Bodhisattva stages and the perfection. For those who just finished the way to the Buddhahood, we got 10 stages of the Bodhisattva. Then here we will see the perfection is in the page number 156. Okay, let's see. 156. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong said, let's take a look. Okay, here, I mean the translation a little bit different, but you will see this is the 10 stages from the joyous to the cloud of the Dharma. And then the perfection is complete differently because they are major and focused with a different perfection. So this is something I'd like to highlight. Then let's take a look at the table of the condensed. And then here there will be regards, for example, you see a number of Southern Buddhism in Asia, 377. Okay, let's take a look. 377. Now you see, Southern Buddhism is Sri Lanka. Okay, let's take a look. Please try to take a look to this diagram, to this table. Okay, you will notice that can anyone tell me which one country? I mean the Buddhists they are the majority in their country.
Cambodia.
Cambodia, 95%. Yes. Okay. Which one country is the second?
Thailand.
Yes, Thailand. So you see, meaning to say, if you're interested, to know the spreading of the Buddhism, you can come to this type of diagram, all right? Then class, let's take a look. Here we also, from the southern Buddhists, we go to the Eastern Buddhists, and also Malaysia is included here. I think it's in the Eastern Buddhist. Then here we also, we roughly know the Buddhist group center monastery temple in the USA, UK, and Europe, and also in the Africa, and also the Australia side, and also South Africa. So just now, David mentioned that South Africa, we go to the 457. Let's take a look. 457. Okay, so this is the different country. Okay, so David, can you check for us? Can you mention to us that how about the Buddhism population in the South Africa? Statistically, can you mention to us? On your mic, you haven't on your mic yet.
In total is 49, but Theravada is 14.3%, Mahayana is 34.7%, and then Vajrayana 36.7%.
Yes, David, I think accidentally we discovered that Vajrayana is the major. It's the major majority. So you thought maybe it should be the Mahayana because of Fo Guang San. But Mahayana actually also not bad. It's 17%. They're quite influential in South Africa. Okay.
So total is 49, almost half of it Buddhist.
Yes, quite, yeah. It's 49, but let's see. This is the Buddhist group center monastery temple organization. This is the temple day. So the total figure in the column and the right reflect the fact that some group, etc. in the column to the left, at least in more than one column in the World Buddhist Dictionary. Here the total, I think maybe it's just a number only. Okay. All right. Then so class, besides this is the table, you can make full use. Okay. Because studying chapter by chapter is very boring, so sometimes we will jump here and there to make sure we learn something, we feel interested in it. Then we go to a preface, we will skip the preface. Then we have a note on the language of the pronunciation. So class, let's take a look. A note of the language. Basically, you see here, it's regards the Pali and the Sanskrit. So there will be most of our Buddhist texts, if in the Mahayana, basically translate from Sanskrit, in Theravada is translate from the Pali. We'll discover all this the scholar will provide us the original text language. Okay. And next is the abbreviation. Let's take a look. Abbreviation, from abbreviation, you're going to see. Let's take a look to the abbreviation. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong, from the abbreviation, do you see any text which is more popular in the school other than Theravada?
The Prashna Paramita.
Prashna Paramita, yes, is correct. Besides, do you notice any Abhidhamma which is not original from Theravada? It began with A.
The Agama.
This one, Mr. Leong. Yeah, what's
Abhidhamma Kosa Baya.
Yeah, Basha, yes. From who? From which school?
Sarasvati.
Yes. Is Sarasvati your favorite school, Mr. Leong? Because you prefer asking question always with Sarasvati. Okay,
Because the thing is, most of the things that us originate from the Savastivada.
I keep on mention, right? The Abhidhamma either from Timsa or Savastivada. So that's why. Yeah, anyway, Mr. Leong, let me try to answer your question. Remember you asked what's the relationship between the Abhidhamma, in the Savastivada and Timsa. Mr. Leong, let's take a look. So this is the school of the Buddhism, the school of thought. And here, do you see the Tamyar Satya? So this is actually a Theravada. Today, Theravada origin is from here. Actually, to that Theravada, they are origin from the Mahavihara in the Burmese, in the Sri Lanka. So from Sri Lanka, the Mahavihara is spread to the Thailand, Myanmar, and also all this Theravada country. But it is original from Tamra Satya. So Tamra Satya actually, which is led by Reverend Mahinda, and they migrate from India to Sri Lanka before 200 BC, okay, before Christ. And then before Christ, you see they are from the Vibhajavatin, and here is the Theravada. Mr. Leong, here is a Savastivada. So that's why before they split, they are all unite together, and they share same. The Tripitaka. They share the same volume of the Tripitaka. So once they split already, there will be some difference in the condensed due to the meditation experience, due to the different teaching background or whatever. So nowadays, once we try to compare both of them, one is a Savastivada, one is a Tamra Satya. The similarity show that the condensed before the splitting here, see or not? So Mr. Leong, that's why now we are taking the advantage because of the Theravada. Abhidhamma is more simple and more well organized nowadays. So while we teach it, we can use it to understand the Savastivada. And sometimes something we don't understand in Abhidhamma in the Myanmar, so we'll check this Savastivada, then get the answer. See or not? And then the differences if the condenser you can find here, you don't find there, it's due to the it's due to the different of the meditation experience, and maybe also different of the development due to the background right here. Okay, Mr. Leong, get it?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So today we study, basically we studied, even though it's a Theravada Abhidhamma, but a lot of things it come from, the Buddha time. Okay. So this is something which I try to add in. Then let's take a look. So this is recorded as the abbreviation. Then we'll begin with the introduction. So before we begin with the introduction, let's take a look. Here at the bottom of the book, we are able to see this one. Maybe class, you can take a look to the left-hand side here. You see. So chapter 11 is the Buddhist practice, meditation, and cultivation of an experience-based wisdom. Here it talks about all the meditation. You see, the approach to meditation, blah, 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 all these things. Meaning to say that this book covers 3 parts. Number 1 is merely the theory, okay? And the theory, the author introduced the theory along the time, chronically. This is section number 1. Section number 2 is regarding history. The author also tried to introduce the history of the Buddhism chronologically. And the third one will be the meditation. So I think here we introduce geographically. So we know different area with the different method of the meditation. So you can say that once you finish the whole book, you get a very broad understand actually I think it's not for the beginner already. You can say you can get a very broad knowledge, and also including the ancient and the modern days of the Buddhism. Okay, I will try to use more Google to search more picture and video clip. Hopefully that you can fully understand the condensed regards this. So class, let's take a look. Then finally, the author, I mean, is quite kind. I mean, he is very kind. He tried to introduce her regarding the this thing, the bibliography, and also will show us all this, the free online journal and e-text, and also will show us some appendix, canon of the scripture. So let's take a look. This is the one. So finally, if you try to go through the author mentioned that access to the inside, okay, BuddhaNet, DharmaNet, okay, academically, you can come to the NTU Digital Library of Buddhist Study, okay, there will be a lot of the academic study and research here, okay. Then also we can come to here to see the Silk Road Online project, and also this is the Buddhist dictionary. So for this section, I mean, the author thoroughly introduced in this part free online journal. So let's take a look at the e-text. Okay, so we'll know that we need to see the author try to include the digitalized the Buddhist type which has been digitalized. Okay, so this is the roughly introduced to you or how to make full use for this book. Now we'll go to the introduction. So class, let's take a look. We go to the introduction. Introduction is what page? Yes, introduction is the page number 31. Page number 1, I think, introduction. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong, can you please read the passage introduction? On the mic, please, Mr. Leong.
I'm still searching.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. Introduction. The history of Buddhism spans almost 2,500 years from its origin in India with Siddhartha Gautama, Pali Sanskrit Siddhartha Gautama, through its spread to most parts of Asia and in the 20th and 21st century to the West. Richard Gombrich holds that the Buddha was one of the most brilliant and original thinker of all time, whose ideas should form part of the education of every child and the world over, which would make the world a more civilized place, both gentler and more intelligent. And with Buddhism, at least in numerical terms, as the greatest movement in the entire history of human ideas. While its fortunes have waxed and waned over the ages, areas where it is or has been a dominant cultural force. The English term Buddhism correctly indicates that the religion is categorized by a devotion to the Buddha, Buddhas or Buddhahood. Buddha is not a proper name, but a descriptive title meaning awakened one or enlightened one. This implies that most people are seen in the spiritual sense as being asleep, unaware of how things really are. As Buddha is a title, it should not be used as a name, as in, for example, Buddha taught that. In many texts, the Buddha is specific enough, meaning the Buddha known to history, Gautama. From its earliest time, though the Buddhist tradition has postulated other Buddhas who have lived on earth in distant past ages or who will do so in the future. The later tradition also postulated the existence of many Buddhas currently existing in other parts of the universe. All such Buddhas, such known as Sambuddhas or Sambuddhas, or perfectly fully awakened ones, are nonetheless seen as occurring only rarely within the vast and ancient cosmos. Most common are those who are Buddhas in a lesser sense, who have awakened to the nature of reality by practicing in accordance with the guidance of a perfect Buddha such as Gautama. The Tibetan tradition also recognizes certain humans as manifestations on earth of Buddhas of other world systems.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay, class, let's take a look. Here, according to the paragraph number 1, the history of Buddhism spans almost 2,500 years from its origin. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the development of the and the propagation of the Buddhist tradition. Let's take a look. It's before Christ, 450 to 1300 is about 200 years. How do we go through this? Just go through the Indian in the very first, the first bar. Let's take a look. And then take a look to the color at the below part. Once you finish analyze it, please raise hand by Zoom. Okay. Okay, Mr. Leong, finished already. Sally finished already. Okay, Joey finished already. Okay, yeah, Joey, okay, can I know from the diagram, okay, Buddhism have been separated for 4 parts. Can you name it?
Four parts.
Yes. Number 1 is
Early Sangha, early Buddhist school, Mahayana and Vajrayana.
yes, correct. Okay, that is dated from 450 BC, and then it comes to 1200. Why 1200? We don't see anything here, Joy.
Okay.
Why nothing here?
No idea.
No idea. It means extinction, Joanne.
Oh, okay.
Extinction.
Extinct
Totally
already.
been wiped up already in India. Okay, so meaning to say that the history of Buddhism in India is lasting as about 1,200 years. You see,
Oh.
okay. Yeah, then Joanne, let's take a look. You see, just now you mentioned, so this is the before Christ. This is the Christ. Then from here, you see, how come we will see that in early Buddhism, the color here is very obvious, right? Okay, can you show, can you roughly mention to us, early Buddhist school is from when to when is about? Joanne?
250 before century to 100.
200 lah. Are you sure 100? Take a look to the color.
500.
Yes, it's to 500. See, now the color is expanded to the 500. Okay, then yeah. How about the Mahayana, Joanne?
From 500 to 1,002.
500,002. But take a look. How about 100? Do you see the color?
200, 700.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, David. Can you tell us how come in 100 CE the color is a little bit, but here the color is very big. It means what, David? On the mic, David.
Maybe it didn't start very well early in the 100.
Oh, no. You mean it didn't start very well, you mean?
Or is it dominated by early Buddhist school?
Yes. You see, meaning to say from this period, they are dominated by the early Buddhist school. But Mahayana is still, they are still in the starting only, you see? In the starting only. Then later on, early Buddhist school, until 500 is totally gone already, you see? It become very diminishing already, you see? But Mahayana become dominance, you see? Am I right? Okay, even though Mahayana gone, it won't disappear suddenly, right? So it takes time, another 300 years to totally disappear. But at this time, the Vajrayana is getting stronger and stronger. Okay, do you get it? So I think this is more logic, but this is also...
Then does it mean that the whole Buddhist is vanished in India, is it?
The whole Buddhism vanished in India, whole Buddhism. So 1,200 gone already, India no more already. But of course, what you see, okay, we don't feel sad, Sally. Why? After its extension in India, we no need to feel sad. Why, Sally?
Because it moved to Sri Lanka, is it?
Yes, you see Sri Lanka, you see, it continue, right? Central Asia is continue, right? And then East Asia continue. So no need to feel sad. So luckily it spread out. So that's why through studying the Buddhism, especially knowing the extinction of the Buddhism, you will have more compassionate to the religions. There must be some reason contribute to the extinction, and we should try to avoid it. So that's why this is the reason why we have to study the history. Okay, so from here, very good. Class, you can analyze this. Basically, the author, just like I mentioned, Mr. Leong, according to the time, we call it as chronologically or the chronically. Which one is correct, Mr. Leong?
Chronologically.
Chronologically. So class, basically, the author will, introduce the history and also the theory chronologically to us. Okay, so we will now everything will try to begin from the early Buddhist first. Then we go to the Mahayana, we go to the Vajrayana. Okay, anyway, class, the way we see it nowadays, basically, the Buddhism, what we know is regards this part. Early Buddhist school, they are from basically Myanmar, Thailand. They don't know the history of Buddhism, so they don't have this type of perception. They think they are the only one inherit the Buddhist study only. The rest, they are the counterfeit money. They will think in this way, Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, any question? Yes.
Yes, Sifu, regarding this Chan, Zen, and Pure Land, how is it related into the arising of this tradition from the Chan?
Oh, you mean here It's East Asia, Tiantai, Pure Land, the Zen. You may how to read it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Leong, do you see it's 100 CE, right? East
Yeah.
Asia mean is in China because during this time you can see the monk start traveling from Indian to China, from Xinjiang, from southeastern, northeastern Indian to China, and also maybe from China to southeastern Indian, from China to India. So it happens is during the 100 CE to it begins 100 CE. So once the monks start traveling from India to China, so they bring back the sutra and the Abhidhamma to the China, and China they themselves develop their own things. So this one, the Zen, Tiantai, Pure Land, all they are inspired from the original text of the Buddhism, but they have been Chinalized already in order to fit the Chinese market. Okay, Mr. Leong, do I answer you?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the reason how it appeared in this way. Okay, class, let's take a look. So here we mentioned 2,500 years we understand already. And second point, he say how it will make the world a more civilized place, more gentle and more intelligent. The reason is if let's say you want to to launch you want to you want to propose that there should be no discriminations among the races, among the sects. You have to use Buddhism. The reason is 2,000 years ago, Shakyamuni also allows the Kshatriya, the lowest casta, to become a monk, and he allowed a woman become a nun. You see, maybe we can hardly understand how was the breakthrough of it. But if you can understand that nowadays, if you try to abolish, maybe you come up with the motion to abolish the quota system of Malay, the privilege of the Malay. Can you imagine what's the consequence for you if you try to propose this? Sally? Nowadays, if you try to propose abolish the privilege of the Muslim or the quota system in Malaysia, you think what is the consequences?
There will be a lot of consequences.
For example,
Uprising.
uprising. Do you think we will be evaporated permanently, Sally?
We.
You. Yes. Okay.
Me. No, I don't think so.
You will be evaporated. Okay, why I mentioned this because now if you try to do this, just like what Shakyamuni do at that time, women the status is very low 2,500 years ago in India. You see, you try to let them to become a nun. You see, and also the Kshatriya, they are just like rubbish. You see, but he allowed them become a monk. You see. So meaning to say that if you can say that Buddhism is the most equal religions from the teaching so if you want if let's say you want to do some campaign to fight the rights for the women and different races, you can say that Buddhism is the best choice and it happened already in Indian. They cannot use Hinduism to fight for it because Hinduism itself is very racist and sexist discrimination, very strong. Okay, so that's why we say that Buddhism is very for gender. It's also is more civilized and more intelligent. And the meaning of the Buddha is awakened one. I say what to awaken, what to enlighten. Mr. Leong, what Buddha had enlightened so far as you know?
Enlightened of the Four Noble Truths.
Yeah, Four Noble Truths. Maybe you ask, what is the Four Noble Truths? Okay, basically we understand this way. Class, the world we are conceptualizing. It's not the true one. Okay, according to Shakyamuni, the truth of the world behind the world we are seeing, we are feeling, especially this body. Okay, if let's say if you try to do the way practice like what Buddha say, finally you will discover the truth behind this body and the mental. So this is the true from the Buddha, discovered by the Buddha. And like Mr. Leong says, it's about the Four Noble Truths. So I try to let Joey understand easily. Okay. Joey, have you ever skeptical that the world you are living now is not true? Have you ever suspect for that? Skeptical for it?
Suspect. No.
No. It looks so real for you, am I right?
Yes.
No matter suffering but anyway, you prefer suffering or prefer happiness?
Of course, happiness.
Okay, if let's say the suffering come, will you tell yourself that do you hope that the world is not true if the suffering coming?
Yes.
Yes, you see or not?
Correct.
So that's why people who learn the Buddhism mostly are due to suffering, but not due to happiness.
I see.
Yeah, because suffering push you to find another truth, you see. So Buddhism is the choice for you. Okay. So I hope that you can finally discover the thing that you want. So we call him as a Samma Sambuddha. Then the last one, we said that the Tibetan tradition recognize a certain human as a manifestation on earth. In other words, is the meaning to say that they noticed that the Buddha is not the only one in the universe. They got different Buddha. So we go to the second paragraph. Yeah, Sally, can you please read the passage?
As Buddha does not refer to a unique individual, Buddhism is less focused on the person of its founder than is, for example, Christianity. The emphasis in Buddhism is on the teachings of the Buddha and the awakening of human personality that these are seen to lead to. Nevertheless, Buddhists do show great reverence to Gautama as a supreme teacher and as an exemplar of ultimate goal that all strive for, so that probably more images of him exist than of any other historical figure. In its long history, Buddhism has used a variety of teaching and means to help people first develop a calmer, more integrated and compassionate personality, and then wake up from restricting delusions which cause attachment and thus suffering for an individual and those he or she interacts with. The guide for this process of transformation has been the Dharma, the patterns of reality and cosmic law orderliness discovered by the Buddha, Buddhist teachings, the Buddhist path of practice, and the goal of Buddhism, the timeless nirvana. Buddhism thus essentially consists of understanding, practicing, and realizing Dharma. The most important barriers of Buddhist tradition have been the monks and nuns who make up the Buddhist Sangha or community. From approximately 100 years after the death of Gautama, certain differences arose in the Sangha, which gradually led to the development of a number of monastic fraternities, each following a slightly different monastic code, and to different schools of thought. All branches of the Sangha trace its origination back to one or the other of the early fraternities, but of the early schools of thought, only that which became known as the Theravada has continued to this day. Its name indicates that it purports to follow the teachings of the elders. The first section, while it has not remained static, kept it close to what we know of the early teachings of Buddhism and preserved the emphasis of attaining liberation by one's own efforts, using the Dharma as a guide. Around the beginning of Christian era, a movement began which has led to a new style of Buddhism known as the Mahayana, or Great Vehicle. This has been more overly innovative, so that for many centuries Indian Mahayanists continue to compose new scriptures. The Mahayana is categorized by a more overt emphasis on compassion, devotion to a number of holy savior beings, and several sophisticated philosophies developed by extending the implications of earlier teachings. In the course of time, in India and beyond, the Mahayana produced many schools of its own, such as Zen. One group of these which developed by the 6th century in India and is sometimes seen as a separate Brahma Mahayana is known as the Mantrayana, or the path of mantras. It is mostly the same as Mahayana in its doctrines, but developed a range of powerful new practices to attain the goals of Mahayana, such as the meditative repetitions of sacred words of power, mantras, and the complex visualization practices. It is based on tantras, or complex system of ritual, symbolism, and meditation, and its form from the late 7th century is known as the Virajana, or the vehicle of thunderbolt.
This Vajrayana 好 Sally 哈。
Vajrayana. Sorry. Vajrayana.
Mr. Leong Tama, please once you finish. I can see you. Yeah, okay. Okay, class, let's take a look. Well, it's a very good introduction the way I see it. Yeah, okay. So class, let's take a look. Basically, once we talk about the Buddhism, if let's say you try to deal with somebody and if you claim yourself as a Buddhist and you start to quarrel with people, people will say that, hey, you are Buddhist, how come you quarrel with people? Am I right? Oh, okay. Sometimes people may take advantage, but meaning to say that as a Buddhist, we impress people that we are a group of people with a more calm, more integrated and compassionate personality. Because this is our target. I mean to behave like this way. But another one important point is regarding this. Awaken from the restriction delusion which cause attachment. Meaning to say that, how do we judge that we practice the Buddhism in the right way? We got one of the, they got a few, they got a few ways to judge. The most important method is whether your attachment is decreasing or not. If let's say you are less attached, to the external world, meaning to say you progress better. So finally, we hope that we will be detached from what we see, we hear, we smell, or whatever. Then here you see or not, this is we talk about is the Buddha. Then with regard to the Dharma, what is the Dharma? We will transform ourselves through the Dharma. And then the last one, the goal is the Nirvana. Nirvana is timeless. So basically, Nirvana, we call it as the ending of the suffering. Basically, if let's say we experience the Nirvana, there will be the ending of the reincarnation. No more reincarnation. Now, most of the Buddhists like us, we struggle. To fighting so that one day we can totally liberate it and also enter to the Nirvana. This is our goal. Okay. Yeah, Sally, can you tell to the people what are you trying to do daily in order so that you are more closer and closer to the Nirvana? Sally?
Do more meditation.
Yeah, meditation. Yes, Mr. Leong, besides meditation, what else are you doing, Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong?
Dana Sila Bhavana.
Dalasina Bawala, you see not? Okay, so maybe for Joey and David, you feel a little bit obscure, but later on you will know what to do. So we try to do more. Yeah, Joey, yeah, any question?
There's the phrase that Mr. Leong mentioned. What does that mean?
Yeah, Mr. Leong, please
Sorry, because the phrase, I may not know, this is my first Buddhist class, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Briefly lah, Mr. Leong.
Dana, Sila, and Bhavana, they are in Pali words. Dana means generosity or giving.
Okay.
Sila is morality, the things we do, and Bhavana is meditation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Leong.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Joey, you don't need to worry because in the coming lesson, we'll tell you all the terminologies. It will be included. All right, then we come to here. Number third one is once we talk about the Sangha, they are the bearer of the Buddhist tradition. Class, take a look. We have a different tradition. How do we know the different tradition? You see. So if you type a Buddhism monk, yeah. Now you see a Buddhism monk here. See. Now you see the monk here. We notice that there's a two tradition of the monk here. Okay, very obviously we see the way their clothes, their robe lah. So this we call Theravada monk. So this style of the wearing, I think it's quite close to the Buddha time. So this is the Mahayana monk. This has been Chinalized already lah. This type of the wearing. And then one more style is the Tibetan. It's a Tibetan style. This is a Tibetan style. See or not? This one, Tibetan style. Basically, nowadays, people judge the tradition based on the robe they wear. But anyway, even though the robe we wear are different, but our goal is the same. We are considered as the bearer of the Buddhist tradition. Okay, and then we are the one who is going to teach. Number one is the Buddhist fraternities. Second is the monastic code. The third one is the different school of the thought. Okay, so basically, after Buddha Parinibbana, meaning because the king is no more there, the leader is no more there, we start splitting in terms of the Nikaya, the monastic code, and also the Vatara school of thought. Okay, and nowadays, just now I show you a diagram. Let's see. So this is, it shows a different school. You see, they are splitting. You see, you can see how it's a splitting. But according to the author nowadays, the only school they are available nowadays is this Tamra Satya, which is the Theravada today. You can see this is the Buddhist school. But anyway, in Chinese, we Mahayana muchly influenced us. So we can say that we are not, like what you see in Theravada, okay, in Myanmar. But anyway, we do practice Buddhism the way in a differently. But of course, we influenced by the different school. And next, let's take a look. So, even though the Theravada is very dominant, but there will be one movement come out, the name is a Mahayana. According to this diagram, let's see. The author tried to use it, make it as an analogy to the Christianity. I think it's quite correct. Why the Mahayana? Why there's a movement of Mahayana? The reason is they noticed that the early Buddhist school, the longer they stay, they are more academic and scholastic. They become more academic and scholastic. And then secondly, okay, besides they are more academic and scholastic, they are more concerned, on self-meditation, and they're compassionate to the. To the society is not strong. That's why there's a movement of the Mahayana appeared. So this movement we try to encourage the monk to go out, help more people. And then at that time, more bodhisattva appeared, and then more philosopher. So this is the difference between this two of the period. So meaning to say that there will be there is some revolution. Like nowadays in the politics, basically, if let's say there will be some shortcoming for the present politic the major politic party, so there will be new one who try to do the new thing and correct the mistake for the previous one. Am I right? It happened in our politics in Malaysia, see? So it happened also in Buddhism. Basically, the later one is try to correct the mistake for the previous one. Mahayana tried to correct the mistake of the early Buddhist school, and Vajrayana will correct the mistake for the Mahayana. So once the Mahayana start to develop, it comes the Vajrayana again. So Vajrayana is the school more emphasized on what? The mantra chanting. Let's take a look. So this is the one, you see. The develop is the more on the mantra chanting. So how is the mantra look like? So this is the mantra. So this is the mantra look like. This is a very famous mantra in Tibetan Buddhism, Om Mani Padme Hum. Okay. So besides this mantra, they also will do. They have a different visualization practice, a complex visualization practice. Why we call it as a complex? The reason is they are using the yantra to do the visualization. Let's take a look. This is the yantra Tibetan monk will try to use for the visualization. See, looks complex, right? Okay. Some you this is a Tibetan Tanka Sri yantra. So they use it. Okay. They call the name as what as a Vajrayana, or vehicle of the thunderbolt. What is the thunderbolt? So class, take a look. This is the thunderbolt. In Mandarin, we call it as do you see this before? David, have you ever seen this before? On the mic?
Only in the movie.
Only what? Only what?
Only I see in the movie.
Oh, in a movie, yeah. So this is a thunderbolt. So we call it as a Vajrayana because they are using this as a symbol for themselves. Basically, you know what is the purpose for this? Conquer the demon. So this is a thunderbolt. Basically, three of the school. If let's say you want somebody to help you to settle all this type of thing, you look for the Tibetan monk. They are more. They impress people that they are more strong with the mantra and chase the ghost for you. They can. A ghostbuster. They're like a ghostbuster. But for Mahayana, more on the chill meditation, more for the Theravada. Okay, this is the first impression. But nowadays, no more really. You can also see the monk. By wearing my robes, we also good in meditation. And we also can become a ghostbuster. In Tibetan Buddhism, some are very good in academic study, and also they can meditate very well. So no more rigid already. Okay, class, time's up. So we'll stop our lesson here. So in the next, in the next lesson, we continue the introduction. Mr. Leong, Sally, okay, since since the theory part, you all have gone through a lot already. You don't mind? We relearn it again because for Joey or David, or maybe I begin with the history, so it's something new for you. What do you feel, no, Sally and Mr. Leong?
No problem, like refresher.
Sally?
Yeah, no problem.
No problem. So I just go through according, the syllabus.
Yes.
Okay, so that Joel and David, they won't lost. Okay,